From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into another episode. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold beer and let's get after it. We are recording this on the same day as last week, so I still got one last Guinness that I'm drinking for our St. Patty's Day episode. Don't forget to check us out on What a Maneuver and Patreon to support the show. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, not bad. Don't know.
I know I've asked you two other times today because we've also recorded the fantasy show today.
I don't know how I will have been doing by the time this comes out, but currently I am doing well.
All of our news you guys have all probably already seen because it's about a week old at this point. But let's jump straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Starting off in Buffalo, not the Sabres because that could be our joke of the week, but Buffalo's local newspaper placed them 32nd in the league behind the Seattle Kraken. I actually sent this to you after you had already put this on here.
Yeah, I put this on the doc, and then you sent me the Reddit tweet or the Reddit post of it, or probably from Twitter.
Yeah,
or
I saw
whatever.
it on Twitter. Yeah,
and I was like, I just thought you were just like highlighting to me, like, oh, hey, funny, right? And I was like, yeah, I already put this on the doc. So I think that they're right now. If there was a money line option on the Kraken playing the Buffalo Sabres, I would choose the Kraken at this point.
We saw what Vegas could do.
We should bet against the Buffalo to get them going again.
Yeah. All right. Well, I did bet against Buffalo tonight, or I think this week or something like that coming up, and maybe not tonight. They might not have a game tonight. I got a lot of action tonight.
Yeah, I don't have too much. Be honest with you, I was pretty heavy this weekend. So,
yeah. All right, NHL coming back to ESPN after 17 years. We touched on it a small bit in last week's fantasy show when I broke the breaking news. Can't wait, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Just a little bit more accessible for hockey. Maybe that means ESPN will start talking about hockey a little bit. We've talked about the downfall of ESPN as a network overall, in our opinions. But as far as watching games and game casting, ESPN is still, in my opinion, top notch. Maybe CBS football with their crew that they have, but I'm looking forward to it. I think that it is a benefit to have hockey on ESPN, which is, what most people flip on. If the game's not on ESPN, nobody's going and looking for NBC Sports Network. They've had their day.
Now I just need teams to drop Sinclair. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Sinclair.
NBC has had their opportunity, and I personally don't think they've done a good job with it. Obviously 17 years is a long time, and I'm sure all of those years weren't bad. But, especially as of late, I have not been impressed with NBC's Sports Network or NBC's coverage for that matter. So I'm looking forward to it coming back to ESPN.
Change is always good for a sport. It's especially when it's not really, you're not changing the rules. It's just shaking things up a little bit.
Right.
It's always nice to get a new theme song going. Detroit's top point getter has 0 goals, at least as of this point. I think he's got 15 points with 0 goals. There is that place is a mess. And speaking of Detroit, this week we will not have our tank rebuild push this week. We're going to push that to next week to give us a break from doing, we're doing two shorter episodes for this week and last. But all right, let's move into our news outside of the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
All right, Drew Brees has officially retired. Will Taysom Hill answer the bell for the Saints?
I don't know. I personally I have not been high on Taysom Hill as an NFL quarterback. I think with plenty of time to prepare, teams will...
I was high on him as a tight end for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just not sure. I think that looking at Jameis Winston and giving him an opportunity would be the way to go personally.
And I mean, they just they gave him a contract extension, so maybe that's where they are going. Now that he's got his LASIK surgery, I don't even know if that's real, if that's a joke, if that's a real thing, if he got LASIK surgery or not.
No, I think he did.
Okay,
I believe that.
I didn't know if he just played a little better, like, oh, he must have gotten LASIK surgery, but
no, I mean, and I just don't know that they're. I think that now that he's a professional there, I mean, the crab legs are probably flowing into him, so he doesn't have to steal them from Publix anymore. I just think that. Taysom Hill isn't the guy personally. I would like to see Jameis Winston get an opportunity myself. Now you'd posed an interesting question that I haven't really given a ton of thought to. Where does Drew Brees fall? Top 10, top 15? What are your opinions before I look at it? I think
top 15, yes. Top 10, maybe, depends on what metrics we're using.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, the yardage, he threw for an insane amount of yardage every year. But me personally, I'm a Super Bowl guy. For me, as a quarterback, he got to win some. He did
win a Super Bowl.
He won a Super Bowl. I think that
do you rank him higher or lower than Dan Marino, who didn't win one?
I would rank, yeah, and no, listen, I'm not saying Super Bowl is the only thing. I mean, there's a lot of metrics to look at. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, though. I think that when the division that he played in, he didn't have to compete. He did not have to compete in the same division as Manning and Brady. And I think that he should have been dominant in that division for his career. And the fact
I think that they were pretty dominant.
Well, the one Super Bowl they won, and let's be honest, listen, people want to talk shit about Brady cheating all the time. Let's look at the fact that the Super Bowl they won, their head coach got suspended for cheating that year, the headhunting incident. So let's,
that was their defensive coordinator. Oh yeah, well, Peyton got suspended, but he wasn't the one that was doing it.
I get
it was
that,
just
but I mean, as a head coach, the buck stops with you kind of thing. That's a different discussion. But still, the argument could be made that if you want to argue Brady's rings, there is an argument to be made about Drew Brees' ring. Listen, I love Drew Brees. He's a great guy off the field, and I'm a Saints fan. I like Drew Brees. I don't know if he can crack the top 10. I don't have my top 10 list here. When I write it down on paper, he might crack the top 10. But off the top of my head, I don't think he's cracking the top 10. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's more of I'm not sure. I would say he probably would. I mean, yardage leader, completion percentage leader. I think he benefited from playing in a fantastic offensive system that worked for him. He didn't have a top tier wide receiver that carried him through anything, up until Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was that guy that, I used to stay away from Saints wide receivers because they were so unpredictable. I mean, I would say that I'm just kind of looking at some list of it. Somebody has him at number 5. Ooh. I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that I'd rank him higher than Dan Marino.
Who's the 4 in front of him?
Brady, Montana, Manning, and Favre is what they have. Then Breeze, Elway,
I don't like
Unitas, Marino, Bart Starr, and then Roger Staubach. I would say that, I would say probably is.
So Joe Theismann is in his top 10?
No.
All right.
No, Joe Theismann is not in his top 10. Steve Young is 11.
That's
Terry Bradshaw 12, Fran Tarkenton, Aaron Rodgers 14.
Is this just somebody on Reddit, or is this like a real
This is some guy on USA Today. I haven't looked at the name. Troy Aikman 16, Kurt Warner 17, Roethlisberger 18, Dan Fouts 19, and Warren Moon 20. I'm not sure that I like this guy, but just look. I'm using this to more look at the names of guys and just seeing that. I don't know. I would say that probably top 10 is. I'm not saying. I wouldn't say top 5. I would argue definitely top 15, potentially top 10. Maybe we should at some point, maybe after the hockey season, we'll go in and we'll rank our top 10 quarterbacks of all time.
Because I threw it on there right before, it's the kind of thing where it's like you're writing your list down. It's like, oh, I forgot about this guy, and because a lot of these guys we didn't see play. I think because our generation saw Drew Brees played, that he gets preferential treatment, much like but also he also played at the same time. Like I said earlier, he played at the same time as Manning and Brady, which kind of.
Now, this guy's list I like a little bit better. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Brett Favre, John Elway, Steve Young, Drew Brees, then Johnny Unitas and Otto Graham. So I can kind of gear towards it. I think 8 to 12 is probably where Drew Brees is landing for me.
Yeah. All right, Hunter Henry to the Patriots. This is one day after Jonnu Smith to the Patriots, which as someone who was able to get Jonnu Smith in a trade was happy, then I quickly became less happy within 24 hours.
Still got to get somebody to pass him the football.
I think Cam's going to have a solid year. He's got a whole offseason.
They re-sign him?
Yeah, they re-signed him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why when you texted me that, I was like, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's even worse. I thought they were going to go and get a different quarterback because Cam did not look good at all. I think
that Bill Belichick is going out of his way to make this a Cam centric offense, which is what you got to do for a guy like Cam. You can't bend Cam to your system. You got to bend your system to Cam Newton. And he's going to have an entire offseason to learn this, because the fact is Brady can go somewhere in the middle of offseason and learn an entire playbook. Cam Newton can't do that. Cam Newton is not the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I love Cam Newton. I want him to do well. It just did not look like that was a match.
Yeah, I think a lot's going to be said about the first couple games this season, but
he looked really good in the first couple games.
Yeah, it's true. But I think that, because his arm strength, he's lost his arm strength, but now they're getting him a package where they can nickel and dime it, a tight end rollout, and he can have the option between, because a lot of the plays last season, there was a lot of designed runs, but they also wanted him to try to use arm strength. You've got to get it. Cam will thrive in a situation where he can keep the defense guessing, where they've got to, a guy like him, if they focus on, if they know he's going to run the ball, he's not going to succeed. But if he can keep him guessing with a 2 tight end package, I think he's going to be successful. I don't think that they're going to go off and win a Super Bowl. I mean, it's the Patriots, they could, but I think I could see them definitely winning their division this year.
I don't know. I mean, I would doubt that Buffalo falls that far from.
I don't think they're going to fall that far.
Grace.
I think. I mean, it could be a last game. I mean, I'm hoping that it could be a last game of the season win, and you win your division.
I don't think that
the Patriots are going to make it competitive at least.
I don't think division is in the cards. It obviously could be. It is the Patriots, but I think that we've seen the future of the NFC East, and its name is Josh Allen. Is my personal opinion.
Josh Allen, future Patriot.
Yeah. That in that case. Yes, then the Patriots, I would lean towards them, and I would be a little more.
I mean, they're going to put him in at wide receiver, obviously.
Yeah, I would be a little bit more worried about the day. Hunter Henry's got to stay healthy for this to even mean anything. Yeah. Obviously, losing Jonnu Smith from the Titans, that's very frustrating. Yeah. Obviously, I would love to continue to have him, but yeah, I mean, some definitely some weapons. Are they the weapons to change the course of where that team was last year? I'm not sure about that.
What do you think this does for Henry and Jonnu Smith's draft stock? It definitely hurts them.
I think it hurts them. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as fantasy draft stock, I would say now I'm leaning towards Jonnu Smith just because of the injury history of Hunter Henry.
I'm leaning, but Hunter Henry has also been the 6th best tight end in all not fantasy points. Since 2019, he has been number 6 in fantasy points per game, but he's actually been number 6 all across the board in most real.
That's not impressive. Tight ends have been the most garbage position for the past 10 years.
Yeah, but it's all relative when you're drafting a position.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean, but it's also all relative when you're drafting a position 6th round versus the 10th round. I would much rather lose a couple of points a game by taking a tight end in the 10th round than I would be to gain the potential for him to play 6 games.
Never reach for a tight end I mean, maybe if it's Gronk 5 years ago, you would reach, but don't reach for tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta find that diamond in the rough, like your boy Dynasty Startup getting Mark Andrews in the 13th round. That's what you do. That's how you win 2 championships, go for a third.
Or you get Taysom Hill.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't help when everyone in your daily fantasy does it as well. All right, Ryan Fitzmagic to the football team. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm getting a jersey. I can't wait. I
think
can't wait for him to start 3 games, be hot, and then have 2 really bad games, and then he shocks the world on the 4th game after that.
I think that it was definitely kind of a little bit of the piece that we were talking about, how Heineke wasn't the guy. Now, not that I think that Ryan Fitzpatrick is the guy of the future in Washington, but I definitely think it gives them a chance to win the division.
And they did re-sign Heineke to a contract, so they're keeping him around. Maybe they see something that we don't, but I think.
Well, I mean, you need a good backup in this league, and he was serviceable.
Yeah, and Fitzmagic is as far as Band-Aids go in the sense, I think he's the perfect Band-Aid in this situation. When you look at what was available to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because honestly, the other talkings were Andy Dalton. Hell no, I don't want Andy Dalton in there. It
definitely alleviated some of the discussion that we had that I had issues with of where they'll land. I still think that they have a really good shot of winning the division. Yeah. I don't know that this makes them the favorite over the Cowboys.
It is not. Last night, after this news broke,
I was just talking more just us talking, not the actual odds.
Okay. Well, because I do know them. Last night after this, I was like, I'm going to go put some money on the football team. I want to see what their odds come out in the next week or two. I want to give it some more time. They're plus 325. The Cowboys, I believe, are plus like 150 to win the division.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way that defense is solid, I think I'm going to go put like $300 for them to win the division. And you know what? I usually don't like betting on my team, but at this point, screw it, man. Let's. I mean, got to ride or die with the Washington football team.
First time, I know this is a little late, but since we're recording same day and we didn't talk about this on the midseason award show, first time since 1976 that both Kentucky and Duke neither are in the NCAA tournament. That is
cool with that.
I'm totally cool with it, but
wild
that has happened. I mean, that's a team that both of those teams, if they got in, there's a shot that they could win it. That's the problem.
I grew up in a family that it was. You hate Duke no matter what.
It's because you're a Maryland fan.
Oh, yeah, but it's weird now because Maryland's not in the ACC anymore. So it's like the hatred for Duke. People
you never lose your hatred.
Yeah, but so other people who are like, they're like, why do you hate Duke? Like, that's a different conference. It's like, well, yeah, still.
You do understand that
we spent years, we spent decades.
Maryland hasn't been out of ACC for too long.
I think it's been like 3 years.
Yeah, it's not been long enough.
And even still, plenty of people hate Duke, and their team's not in the ACC.
Right, exactly. So, that was a wild little stat. No harm, no foul on this podcast. Nobody is gonna cry at home.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's move into our joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like this. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each 6th chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
Kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's wild. Did you tell the folks that we're tweeting out the games of the week for this week?
We games of the week, we will be tweeting those out. It's just too far out in advance when we're recording to get a proper look at them. So
can't give you a record update of how I'm beating Bobby or anything.
So I will be tweeting those out while I'm sitting on the beach drinking an El Presidente in the Dominican Republic. Luckily, this time we're going, they have Wi-Fi included everywhere, not just in the... Last time it was only in like the main lobby. So if I wanted to do anything, I had to go sit in a hot-ass main lobby.
And that makes it really weird to watch porn.
It's a whole thing.
Wild joke of the week this week, man. Wow. Yeah. We saw it last week and we just saved it because it is too wild. Panda Express employee forced to strip during trust building exercise, lawsuit says. Obviously, just right off the bat, the headline, a former Panda Express employee said she was pressured to strip to her underwear in front of colleagues and strangers during a trust building exercise, according to a civil complaint. You know, who's like, hey, why don't you strip? Just trust me. Just trust me. We're trying to be a better team. Your orange chicken was terrible, Jennifer. And that is her name. I don't even... What? How did you even sell this? What was it the...
They had a company come in to do these seminars called Alive, and the employees had to pay for them themselves, and it got taken out of their Panda account, which is, I guess, what their paycheck goes through. And it was
what a joke!
In order to get promoted, you have to do these, and they were usually a full day long event. Yeah.
What? Yeah, dude. I mean, the thing is, at that point, you're probably just going to make more money as a stripper, right?
Yeah.
You know, like definitely make more money as a stripper.
And you have your own autonomy as well.
This is wild. This was in 2019, so I guess the lawsuit's been kicking up since then. She stripped almost naked in front of strangers and coworkers, was extremely uncomfortable, but pressed on because she knew it was her only chance at promotion. Oh my God. This is terrible. The staff was openly ogling the women in their state of undress, smiling and laughing like, oh, dude, how do you even try to sell that? They're like, all right, guys, look.
And they made her and another half naked male hug.
You gotta trust each other when you're being assaulted. So
everyone knows that when you are putting all this orange chicken onto a plate, this might come up. You might be asked by a customer to strip naked.
I mean, you know, not in a weird way, but I'm just like, hey, you know, I want the 2-plate combo, and I know I'm in the drive-through, but I'd really love for you to be in your bra when I got around to pay. This is absurd. This needs to be a much bigger story.
Yeah.
This is I mean, I wouldn't say that this is not even a real. This is definitely a fly-by-night company, right? That are just like, all right, I got a plan. It's just like a couple of dudes, and they're like, do you want to see chicks in their underwear?
This definitely feels like an episode of Always Sunny. They
definitely
hired Charlie and the gang to do this seminar.
This doesn't even read as like this could be real. Like, I'm actually like, I know it's not funny. This is a horrible thing. No,
but I'm kind
this
of
is terrible.
I'm almost laughing at the episode now with Frank making
this is. I want to be clear that this joke of the week is just because it is so ridiculous and not because it is at all funny. And I hope she get paid, dude. Yeah. I hope she gets paid. I mean, this is, you know, obviously this company needs to pay, but Panda Express needs to pay.
Yeah, you don't get away with saying, "Oh, we didn't know." Well, bro, you hired them.
Oh, I wasn't. I wasn't ready. Right? Yeah. Was there not anybody that was like, when he's like, I mean, how do you even approach it? They're like, all right, everybody, time to take off the shirts. Was there not somebody that was like, what? No. This is an absolute joke. I really hope we hear about them getting paid like millions upon millions of dollars, dude. This is absurd. Hope it doesn't mess with my orange chicken, though, because they do have some delicious but maybe it's the stripping that makes it so good. They make it in their underwear is the thing. This is absurd. I'm blown away. The prerequisite to promotion is really what kind of blows my mind on this. It's like, this isn't a strip club, man.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
Hopefully they don't make them do that either.
Fair enough. Enough said.
All right, let's move in. We got some questions from the internet that we are going to take a look at this week. What do we got over there?
Okay. So I've got us 3 cards. I'm just going to shuffle them up. Nothing really super sporty. Maybe one. Okay. If money, I guess this would be sporty. If money didn't matter, would you rather be the first pick in the draft and have to rebuild a shitty team, or the last pick in the first round and instantly have a good team?
If money's no matter, taking last, dude.
Yeah.
Let me put me on a good team.
Yeah, they can say all they want that money doesn't mean anything. But I know when my contract comes up, I'm going to have gambled it all away.
So I'm
like
looking at this
Evander
like
Kane.
not money doesn't matter to me, but like you're getting the same money. I'm looking at like
Yeah.
you get the same money no matter which pick you are.
I'm sure that
And
that's
it's
what they're
like,
trying
yeah.
to sell to you.
If
But
that's the
I
case-
understand how the business works. In a few years, I'm going to be looking for a new contract, and I will have most certainly spent all of that money that I got. No, I mean I agree. Obviously, you want to be on a better team. I guess it just depends.
I just don't want to. It seems like less work, you know.
Right.
You're not
going to play as much.
No one's looking at you to be like, oh, you got to be the first one in the building and last one out. If you're the last pick on a good team, yeah, you come. You sneak in halfway through the meeting.
I want to be the first. I want to be the last pick of the first round to be like the backup place kick holder.
Yeah, you're doing that thing at like
I'm
team workouts where
kicking
like you're not actually working out. You're like going by each one,
You're
like
like
good job.
hyping them up,
You're
dude.
like, oh, I got you. I'll spot you. Oh, I'll spot you. I got you.
Yeah, like like one of my least favorite people on earth, like Rudy. He had it, like he had to work to just play one time and then be off sides on that one play. I'm just, that just seems like we're obviously not that we have the athletic
Seems
ability.
sacrilege. I know you hate Ruby. It seems sacrilege to talk shit the day before St. Patty's Day, but okay.
It absolutely does not. It is not. I don't care about the Roman Catholic school. We know what the Roman Catholics have done to children across this country. Okay, and I'm not going to bring it up because of the Panda Express joke.
Let's just
thing.
say they're offsides.
Yeah. They've encroached at this point. So hey, look, and it's not like I dislike Sean Astin. I mean, that man carried Frodo across Middle Earth. So I love the guy. I just feel like it was a bad role choice. I mean, personally. But no, I think the last pick on the first team. I mean, getting a ring would be dope, and then we can be in discussions for best backup place kick holder ever when we retire because we got the rings.
Yeah.
So, I think we landed on the same one on that one. All right. This one just seems so easy to me. I guess we'll kind of have to make up rules as we go along. Would you rather fight a short gladiator or a rhino?
I mean, short gladiator seems like
I don't know why they put in short. I mean, what does short have to do with
I'd rather
it?
take a tall gladiator than a rhino.
That's what I'm thinking as well. I guess,
'Cause
do
here's
we
the thing.
have weaponry?
What fighting style are you going to use to beat a? I know it's going to at least I know how to fight a human.
Right.
How the fuck am I going to fight a rhino, bro?
Yeah. I mean, that's
You don't fight, you run.
right. I mean, do rhinos have like?
This ain't a video game. They don't just have a soft spot that you can hit.
Well, right. I'm sure that they do. Probably
Yeah.
the belly, the stomach.
I think
would
it's
be.
honestly.
But I mean, how we're not getting there? Do we have like weaponry ourselves? Like, I feel like I would obviously get beat by a gladiator of any stature.
Maybe what about a child gladiator?
Dude, I'd destroy a child
First
gladiator.
off, I want to go to these gladiator games where they're using shit like that.
Not like a child gladiator from like that era though, because they probably are trained up because they've been gladiating their whole life.
Yeah, because you've come to find out they became adults at like 5 then.
Now, to be fair though, if you're facing the rhino, there's only one obvious choice of gladiator weaponry. Trident and a net, right? You gotta net them.
Yeah.
You gotta throw the net on there. I mean, I feel like fighting any gladiator of any level is the obvious choice. Now they may toy with you and it may be a little more painful because the rhino's just gonna try to kill you. He's not gonna torture you, or maybe he is.
But at least there's a possibility of winning. Like they might slip, or maybe you find out you somehow are a superhero, but you ain't beating a rhino. Rhinos are like, what, 3,000 pounds to that 2,500 pounds? Something?
Oh, no question. No question at all. Like, not even a... Yeah, man. We are done for. We are absolutely done for. They're like, let's see here.
The males are 5,100 pounds. The females are 3,700 pounds.
They're like 7 feet long, too, right? Like, they're like...
12 to 13 feet long.
Okay, there has been a humans versus rhinos, who would win in Reddit.
I thought you were about to say like a video. I'm like, okay, that
I'm
seems
sure they
like
have like the.
it seems like we're not even about to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it would take at least the round. Like most people are saying, at least 60 to 80 humans that were bloodlusted to beat a rhino. Which bloodlusted means that you will keep going until you have zero fear of the situation.
Although I assumed unarmed, 60 to 8 like unarmed humans.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would imagine like some spears and stuff would up the ball game. Yeah, that's no question. I would rather just die at the hands of the gladiator.
Yeah. At least then you go out like making a show for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely net and tridenting it, just, net. Okay. So we landed on that. All right. This is more of just an interesting one. Would you rather burp the sound of a gong or sneeze the sound of a bowling strike?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a tough one. This is like one of the tougher ones we've had on this show because there really is no answer that is right.
I'm going burp.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like just bong.
Yeah.
I think that the sneeze bowling strike would be sick though.
Funny.
Yeah, I think that the sneeze burp, I guess you could make yourself burp more though.
Yeah.
If you wanted to like be impressive.
Because you can make yourself sneeze, but it's a lot more. Because you got to use like a Q-tip.
Gotta be in the
you
sun. Well, I just go and look at the sun. I'm one of those guys that like can look at the light.
Well,
for so long.
if you tickle that muscle inside your nose, it forces you to sneeze. So like if like sometimes when my allergies are really bad and you just have to sneeze, you take a Q-tip, tickle the inside of that muscle in your nose, and it will force you to sneeze. But yeah, I'm doing burp sound of gong. That just seems like a lot of fun at a bar.
Yeah, I mean, either of them are awesome. Like, imagine being able to distract people at a bowling alley though by sneezing. You're just like, hey, before it even drops the new one down, you just sneeze, and people were like, that guy's
go to a sumo wrestler contest and just start burping to make them go off sides. I don't even know if they use a gong to tell them to go, but it seems right.
There are so many opportunities here that again, this is one of the tougher questions that we've had because both have so many merit. Usually we're just both on either on one side or the other or both on opposite sides, but
both are good.
Both are good. I think that we'll land on opposite sides. You're gonna gong. We definitely got to pick one each.
Yeah.
So we have all of the options.
I feel like
arsenal.
we need to make up a sound to go with farting though. If we're doing those two, what would it be though?
Ooh, yeah.
A hype horn?
Maybe like a bottle rocket whistle.
I feel like a hype horn would be fun.
Yeah, obviously. Then that would be the obvious choice though. The hype horn is the hypest. I mean, if I could do anything.
You're just sitting there and you reach up and just
yeah. See, but that would be for sneeze, burp, whatever. Like the hype horn, it doesn't matter what option it is. Like I'd love to just have one of those just all the time.
It doesn't have to be sound. It could be a quote. We get like a quote, like you fart in a
talking
quote.
About practice. Yeah.
We're talking about practice, man.
Maybe they are who they thought they were.
Yeah.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
All right, let's move into what are you binging? The wife and I watched this movie. It's a part of a British series. It's called Suspicions of Mr. Witcher. It's a like a whodunit detective. It was good. The first one was a little slow. We haven't started the second and third one yet, but it was actually pretty interesting.
Who done it? Spoilers. I don't care.
Okay. This one was so it was a baby that got murdered.
The baby did it?
Well, the baby got murdered by the sister because the sister was jealous because it was like a half sister kind of thing. I don't know.
Everybody saw it coming.
Yeah.
Everybody saw it coming.
Well, it was one of those things where like the detective knew it and he had to he was just trying to prove it. Like halfway through he found it out. He figured it out because they were all it was like it's in like
it's like an SVU episode.
It's like it's in the late 1800s of England and everyone's like, "Oh, obviously the poor people did it."
Well, yeah, but the kid was probably poor though, right?
It was a rich family. It was a super rich family.
Which is the only reason we care.
And the cop it was like, well, it's certainly not them. And then like the cop was like, oh yeah, I arrested this 12-year-old. He probably did it.
They're so high pedigree. They can't be murderers.
So one of the things the cop was talking about this poor kid he arrested for stealing apples. He was like, yeah, he should have gotten life in prison. And then the detective was like, well, I think the daughter did it. And he's like, She's only 11. 11 years. What kind of little baby? Children can't commit crimes. But that fucking 12-year-old stealing apples, that poor.
Yeah, well, rich kids can't commit crimes.
Yeah.
Poors, though. You can never trust them. You can't trust the poors.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the thing. As far as show-wise, I've been watching a little bit of Bob's Burgers. Great show.
The new episodes have been pretty good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, all of them are good. I love the voice acting in there. I think that they're
I
great.
love Gene. Gene is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm partial to Linda, dude. I just
Linda's
love her.
funny, yeah.
Linda's lines are hilarious to me. I watched Steph and I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp this weekend. I enjoy those movies. I think they're pretty good. We also watched a movie that was not what we expected. Everything Must Go with Will Ferrell. He's basically like an alcoholic that gets fired from his job, and all of his stuff was on the lawn, and he like lives on the lawn for a while. It's not as funny as you think that it would.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it was not. It didn't get good rate. I mean, it was not a bad movie. It was just not what you expected from a Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, I did introduce to my family, the wife and I introduced to my family, the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes series.
Dude, Sherlock is great.
I wish that one of the biggest reasons I hate that he got so famous because they stopped making that show, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Same with Luther.
such a good
Both
show.
of those shows were so good, and they went up and got famous.
Yeah, those are both really good shows. Sherlock is really good. I didn't even watch it all because it just becomes so monotonously the same to me a little bit.
The last season before it ends, it actually they changed up the formula a little bit, and it got
Cool.
it got pretty good.
Maybe I'll get back into it because it wasn't like I disliked it. It was just like you see,
and the episodes feel so
coming.
long sometimes.
Well, they are. They're like an hour and something long. Yeah. So.
But last night, wife and I went out to Mexican food last night. There was 2-for-1 margaritas. Had myself a couple margs. But yeah, so just been drinking some margs, getting ready to have some good margs down in the DR. I'm excited.
Nice.
Man.
Our boy Julius makes some delicious margs, though.
Yeah.
Julius, shout out to you, brother. I been drinking a little bit of the Aberlour Speyside Single Malt Scotch, 12-year, delicious. It was my best man gift from Sasa. So been having a little bit of that. It's really good. I very much enjoy it. So if you're listening, Sass, thanks. Shout out. I appreciate it, brother.
Nice. Time to move in. What's snapping your stick?
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right.
Looks like you have a sports and I have a non-sports.
Yes, that works
perfect.
perfectly. The legal tampering period in the NFL, it makes no damn sense. So when a trade happens or when a trade is about to happen, the league can report on it, journalists can report on it, and everyone can report on trade rumors except the actual team. When Hunter Henry was getting...
you tampered.
Well, when they were not going to sign Hunter Henry, the team was not allowed to talk about it at all until he was picked up by somewhere. Even though everyone knew about it because the NFL itself released the info about it. So the teams are like, so the Chargers Twitter account was actually very funny. I'm going to try and pull up the tweet right now. Hold on a second.
I mean, we all know that Adam Schefter has like mind control devices inside of these GM's heads.
Speaking of that, a player found out from Adam Schefter before he found out about him being picked up somewhere. And he was like, dang, Adam, I didn't even get time to I didn't find out, nor did my family find out. And you're just like, hey, this guy's moving.
Adam Schefter's the man, dude.
So this is the Chargers. So the legal, it's a gif of like one of those guys where the guy's talking to the girl in the bar and she does not care. And it's like, so the legal tampering period is when teams can begin reaching out to free agents. We, the social team, can't say anything officially until March 17th, but reporters, media outlets, and even the NFL can, which is super confusing because the actual team signing players cannot talk about anything.
Well, it's wild. That's silly. So my non-sports is something that I'm going to have to experience for the first time in quite some time. Transferring stuff from an old phone to a new phone, getting logged in.
It's actually, I know you have, I mean, because I do it usually once, maybe every other year. It's actually super simple.
Yeah, but I'm going to have to log into all these accounts again.
I usually, it's funny because I was actually, my non-switch was going to be, I was going to bitch about passwords because I usually have to change passwords on stuff once a week because I forget passwords all the damn time.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll take screenshots. Apparently, I'll take a screenshot of the password I wasn't allowed to use, but then not take a screenshot of the actual one. So I'm like, oh, I have a screenshot of it. Like, well, that's not it.
I think that they just mess with you and like, don't you hate it when you have to reset a password and the one you've used like 1,000 times to try to get it to go in, and then they tell you
can't use the one you have?
It's like, you liar, liar. Yeah. So I'm, obviously I'm looking forward to the new phone. Probably not as much as friends and family around me are looking forward to me getting a new phone. I'm actually a little sad about having to get a new phone. This guy's been through 6 years of battling.
At least you'll be able to talk to people without always having to be on speakerphone and have a front camera or have a regular camera.
Yeah, and see, again, that's why I said people around me are probably more excited than I am because I very much enjoy, not being able to do that stuff because then I don't have to. It's like, oh, sorry, I can't talk. I'm out in public. I don't want to be rude to people. So no, I'm looking forward to it. But me, I'm not a super huge techie guy, so I'm probably not even going to go like the highest level of iPhone. I'm probably going to go like one below.
Yeah,
because it's going to be more than enough for me. The battery life at this point is really the only issue and problem that I have. So.
But, all right, everyone. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.